Welcome to Diffit for Teachers. I'm going to show you how to use Diffit to create ready-to-use resources for your classroom. We're going to start with the Literally Anything tab. From here, you can tell it a topic, learning objective, question, pretty much any term, topic, or question, and it's going to be able to create resources for your classroom. Here, I'm going to go ahead and start with mitosis. I'll set it for 5th grade, and we're going to keep the language in English for now. I'll say generate resources. And what it's going to do is it's going to use AI to create an adapted reading passage where I'll be able to see the sourcing information of what websites it used to create that reading. So here's the reading it created for this 5th grade classroom on mitosis. If I click show sources, I can see the sourcing information, the articles it used to create this, and I can even see the inline citations. But it didn't just make me a reading, it also made me a summary, key vocabulary words with definitions and example sentences, multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and open-ended prompts. Now I'm going to head back and show you how it can do the same thing, but with an article. So I have this article from ThoughtCo on why yawns are contagious. It's not at the just right reading level for my students, and it's got all these advertisements on it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that link. I'll copy the link and head back to Diffit for Teachers, making sure that I'm on an article or video URL. I'll paste the link in. Let's set this one for a 7th grade classroom and say generate resources. Now, instead of looking at several different resources to create the reading, it's only going to look at the article that I've given it. It's going to take that article and rework it so it's appropriate for the grade level that I've chosen. It's still going to create that summary, key vocabulary words, multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and open-ended prompts. All of that will still be available for me to use with my students. So here it's gone through, rewritten that article for a 7th grade classroom. We've got our summary, key vocabulary words, multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and open-ended prompts. I can also do this with a YouTube video. So if I go to Start New, I can grab this link to a crash course video, copy the link, make sure that I'm on an article or video URL, paste that in, and let's set this up for a 9th grade classroom and say generate resources. Now it's taking the transcript of that video and using that to create the adapted reading passage. It's also going to use that to create the summary, the key vocabulary questions, the multiple choice questions. All of that is going to be used to still create the same resources that you could get if you were just telling it a term or giving it an article. So here is our adapted reading passage based off that transcript of the video, the summary, key vocabulary words, multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and open-ended prompts. And the last way that you can use Diffit to generate resources is any text or excerpt. Here you could just copy paste the text you want it to adapt, or you can upload a PDF. I'm going to go ahead and upload a PDF of the Declaration of Independence. I'm going to set this one for a 9th grade classroom, and I'll say generate resources. Now it's taking the PDF and, again, adapting the reading from the PDF for your classroom while also making the summary, vocabulary words, open-ended questions, and more. So we can see all of this here. It's still loading a few. We've got it all here. Open-ended, short answer questions, multiple choice questions. Whether you use Diffit to adapt a reading or generate a reading like this one here, you can then go through and edit and tweak and fine-tune every single part of the resource set. With the reading passage, you can click edit and go through and add or change or rephrase any of the writing here and then click save. You can do the same thing with the summary. With the key vocabulary, you can remove vocabulary words if there's one that you don't want. So let's go ahead and remove this one. And then I can say save. But maybe there's a specific term that I want to add. I can go here and I can type in the words that I want it to include, just separate them by a comma, and I can say generate. And it's going to add a few more vocabulary words, the 2 that I told it to. I could also have it generate random vocabulary words from the reading if I didn't have a specific list I wanted to share with it. When I go down to my multiple choice questions, I can add more questions. I can go here and I can decide what type of question I want it to add. Let's add one more strategic thinking question and say generate. I can also, again, edit the questions by editing the text here or remove questions. So let's say I don't want this question here, then I can just say save. I'm also able to see the example answers as well. With the short answer questions, the same thing. I can choose the DOK level of the questions that I want it to add. So let's add one more extended thinking and say generate. I can edit the text of the questions. I can show the example answers. I'm going to go ahead and remove this one here and just keep these ones. I'll say save. And with the open-ended prompts, since they all should be that extended thinking, the highest level of DOK that we have, there's only going to be the option to add more prompts. But let's go ahead and add 3 more here, say generate. And of course, if I want to rephrase, edit, or tweak any of the prompts here, I can click edit and I'm able to do that as well. Now from here, once I've made it just right for my students, I can click export and share. And this is where I'm going to find all of the templates that are available for me to take that whole Diffit resource and send it over to. So let's go ahead and do this CER, Claim Evidence Reasoning Graphic Organizer Workbook. I can take a preview of it and see how it looks. And then I can say open with slides. Now it's going to take the reading passage, the questions, all of that, and put it into the Google slide deck for me. So it's ready to share with my students. This particular Google slide deck is going to be sized perfectly to print. I can open the slides and take a look. If I want to make any changes here, I can change the size of the font. Maybe I want this reading on multiple pages. Maybe I only want it on one, but I can still go through and edit and change before printing and sharing with my students. When I head back here to Diffit, let's say you have students who speak a different language in your classroom. Maybe their home language is Spanish. If I go to translate, I can choose what I want to translate into their home language. We have over 50 languages available at this time, but let us know if there's one you want us to add. When I click Spanish, again, I can select what I want it to include when it goes to translate. I'm going to have it translate everything for us. And it's going to create another resource set that I can also send to a Google Slide template, Google Forms, Google Docs, or I can just print it to use with my classroom. Now that it's translated my resource, I can go ahead and export this to Google Slides, Google Forms, or Google Docs using export and share and picking any of the templates that are provided here. Now that you've seen the basics of what Diffit can do, head to diffit.me and try it yourself. Let us know if you have any feedback. We're always looking to make it even better for teachers.